Personally speaking, I agree that schools should require students to participate in physical tests, such as endurance training and jogging. Maintaining physical fitness is crucial for students to maintain their strength and endurance. For example, if a student never jogging and then takes a physical test at school, this can motivate them to go jogging on their days off to feel stronger and fitter. Additionally, by requiring school to participants in physical tests, students can cultivate a healthy lifestyle. For example, by cycling or jumping rope, which build muscle endurance in the legs. In conclusion, this physical test requires students to participate in order to maintain their physical health and improve their endurance. This test also motivates students to live a healthy lifestyle. The letter announced change on campus, in particular, restrictions on complaints about consecutive dorm visits. The letter proposed policy limiting the frequency of visits by friends or relatives to no more than 3 nights, as this would be disruptive or inconvenient for other students in the dorms. The man in the conversation resented the idea, beginning by saying how inconvenient would this visit be. He also mentioned that visits by friends or relatives to the dorms are necessarily inconvenience but can actually strengthen relationships. In conclusion, the men disagree with this policy, as visits by friends or relatives can strengthen relationships. According to reading, hilltopping is a behavior of male insects, where they fly to hilltops to mate with females. The professor elaborated on this concept with specifics. For example, first, he stated that the Engahana merau butterflies exhibit a preference for mating at mountain heights above 2,500 meters. Male butterflies not only fly to the mountains but also to compete with other males. Second, the professor explained that male tarantula webs also engage in hilltopping behavior. This suggests that although large males are generally found on hilltops, they can also be found on lower hills. In conclusion, hilltopping is a strategy used by male insects to increase their mating opportunities by congregating in high locations, where competitions can be intense, but the chance of finding a mate are also greater. The professor goes into a ton of detail about the social and economic connection that business build with customers. First, the professor discusses social relationship. This relationship involves personal interactions between company staff and customers. Customers feel comfortable and motivated when interacting with knowledge staff, rather than with automated bots. For example, a woman was hesitant to buy supplement, but after speaking with knowledgeable staff who provide helpful information and clear instructions, the customer felt confident and ultimately buy the product. Second, the professor explained economic relationship. This relationship involves providing tangible benefits such as discount or coupons. For example, someone might choose Starbucks because they have a coupon is about to expire. This discount provides an incentive for the customer to continue shopping with the company. In the conclusions, business build social relationships to create customer loyalty through positive personal interaction, and economic relationship to provide the right incentive that encourage repeat purchase. I definitely think that I prefer working in a relaxed environment. For example, if I work in a relaxed environment, I feel more comfortable and can find space to define my between work and personal time. Second, it maintains my mental health, which allows me to think creatively and stay focused. Working in a relaxed environment allows me to discover new ideas. So, in conclusions, working in a relaxed environment allows me to balance work and personal time, and maintains mental health to increase creativity. The latter purpose announcements explained that the recreational service departments would receive special funding this year to add exercise equipment to the campus fitness centers. This was due to students' complaints about the lack of equipment. The university hoped that the additional equipment would encourage students to healthy lifestyle. The men in the conversations had the idea. He starts off by saying he has never any problem using the equipment. Even when the fitness center was busy, the campus provides other sports facilities such as a swimming pool, running tracks, fitness programs, and sports teams so students could choose the types of exercise they prefer. Secondly, he explained that adding exercise equipment would not make a difference, as a student enjoy exercising in different ways. In conclusions, the man disagreed with the plans to add exercise equipment because he believed that existing facilities were sufficient and the university already offered a variety of other sports options, making the additions unnecessary. The lecture is about the law of diminishing returns, which is an economic principle stating that when a variable's input, such as labor, is added to a fixed input, like capitals, the additional output from each variable's input will eventually begin to diminish. The professor elaborates on this concept with a specific examples. First, consider a farm. Adding more works to the same field with increased productions, but after a certain point, adding more works will yield diminishing returns. Secondly, the professor describes how this concept is important for business. It helps companies understand when adding more research no longer provides sufficient benefits, allowing them to avoid wasting money and efforts. So, to sum up, the example in this lecture illustrates the law of diminishing returns, which show how increasing input to much will eventually result in diminishing returns to output. In the lecture, the professor explains the difference between popular programming styles, namely procedural programming and object-oriented programming. First, the professors talked about procedural programming as a method of writing software that is a series of computational steps performed. Examples include procedures for reading and writing files, or calculating square roots. Second, the professor explained that object-oriented programming organizes software designs around data or object. It focuses on creating objects that contain data and functions. For example, a human's object with data such as a name and address, and physical objects such as walking and talking. So, in conclusions, the main difference is that procedural programming focuses on procedures or methods that operate on data, while object-oriented programming focuses on creating objects that contain data and functions.